Alright, hey everybody, JNap here. I am going to do some game reviews. I got a couple submissions from Zach, just chatting on Discord, and he mentioned something along the lines of trying to get better playing with mains decks. So I figured it might be a good opportunity to get some game reviews in. Hopefully this is helpful to new and returning players, or even just some more novice players. So he sent me 3 different game replays from JNap. I think they're all with him playing as the Anakin Family deck, which is pretty popular about a month or 2 ago. I think it's still somewhat, but the Obi-Wan community has been pretty popular lately. I don't know if some of that is just because of the novelty of it, and because of the new card, and just with the V21 release set event. If people are really just trying to get the hang of the new deck and see how viable it is. So we'll jump in here. I have 3 from him. I have 2 other streams that I might get to, depending on how fast these go. But yeah, so thanks for tuning in. Thanks for watching. Hopefully you learn a few things. I'm not the best player in the world by any means, but I think just having kind of a outsider perspective hopefully is helpful. I'm pretty sure these are all from the March. Maybe some might be from the February OCS. So I just update the thing here. The Online Championship Series, from Zach's perspective. So I think he played darthjeeps and arebelspy, and he also had a game versus what's the third one? Sea Heron. So we'll look at those. He gave me a little bit of background on each of them, just in case there's some things where I'm like, oh, why did you do that? He kind of gave some background on his thinking. So we'll jump in here. And again, thanks for joining the stream, either live or watching this on replay. So we can kind of go at our own pace here, depending on how things are playing out. He's playing against darthjeeps here. He's doing the standard start. He's playing against... Looks like this is going to be tricky deck here. I believe it's Vader is what he's doing. Revenge of the Sith is what his opponent's playing. He's playing the Mother card, which gets back or can recur Anakin's lightsaber. Sand, what chance do we have? I'm not sure exactly where we got the deck list from, but we'll see. We'll see if there's any kind of deck list choices that make us wonder. This has got to be Vader. Yeah, Vader's Castle. Duh. So Silence is Golden, got the Incinerator out. This was hit a little bit. Yeah, it got eroded not so long ago. Force Servitude is canceled, and it's immune to Levitation, so it can't be canceled by that Destiny 6 card from Dagobah. As always, if the audio or video is kind of wacky, hopefully some people are in the chat. Let me know, just so I don't talk for an hour and stuff is bad. All right, so first turn here. Dark just gets out the docking bay, gets out the Incinerator, draws some. It looks like Zach here drew 3PO, which he could download. No, he can't download. He needs the other site. He's got General Leia, Leadership. He drew the location, which he can pull with the puller, which he didn't have. Hujix, Padme, General Leia. Not the strongest hand, not the worst hand. So we'll see what Zach does. He gave a little background on this one. I think he said he played it when he was, I think, pretty tired. Let's see. He thought it was going pretty well. Not sure what happened at the end. So we will, we'll see. Maybe this kind of came to a critical point. Maybe it was a couple decisions as he deploys Polis Massa out from reserve deck with the Best Star Pilot effect. And yeah, this, if I was him, I probably would do this too. He needs to build a hand here, but gets some activation out. It's good that he didn't just deploy the Nightclub for activation and give his opponent, a battleground site to go to that they could drain for 2. Draws the starting effect, gets a Jedi Anakin, so that's good. He needs to get, and he doesn't have it. I might have considered drawing another one. That's kind of a nitpick, but he really needs to try to fight. Oh, Restraining Bolts, that's brutal. Turn 2 Restraining Bolt. So that's going to neuter 3PO. That's not really something, it's not a very commonly played card even nowadays. The best way to prevent it is to put 3PO in space, but then you got to worry about space being attacked. So I'm not really going to fault him for that one. But that really definitely sets him back, because now he can't filter through the cards in his deck nearly as easily to find key cards. Alright, Dark gets out a platform for Cloud City, and the Droid Workshop, which also comes from the Silence's Golden V. He's going to pair up Falcon, again using the Star Pilot effect, with Chewie and go to Polis Massa. Probably a smart play. You don't want to go to Bespin when he could possibly do the Executor effect. And to play, there it is. So he pulls it, so Executor's probably going down to Bespin next turn. And so he's establishing in space a little bit. Probably not going to drain there on his turn, because Battle Plan's probably going to come out. But it is, building some position. So plays. I might have not a bad decision, but the shield here. This is only 2 force on turn 2. I guess he's only activating 10 dark side, so I guess that's probably a fine shield. Make him pay the 2 instead of 0, or for free. But sometimes I think this card's pulled a little too often. This is actually just being talked about on the Discord. That it's very powerful. I shouldn't say very powerful. It's helpful turns 1 or 2, but later in the game it gets gradually less. What's the word? Less helpful, because your opponent usually activating a lot more force. All right, so Sidious goes down. So he is now going to get that, right? So this makes, at sites related to systems you occupy, your non-pilot warriors are defense value, or deploy -1. Wow, so all right, so that's kind of cool. So he's defense value like 9. That's kind of cool. So he's only deploy 5 instead of 6 because of the Admiral's Order. All right, so we'll see what happens here. Looks like he drew. This last card is Rey, who's always good to have in this deck. Ideally, like I said at the beginning, like Zach was saying, like not sure exactly how to play with mains. Don't feel super comfortable with them. One of the key things with mains is you don't want to put out a lot of battlegrounds, and you want to be aggressive on your opponent's sites. Is what I would dumb it down to at the simplest form. So this is good that he's attacking. He's got Anakin Saber. Anakin adds 2 to defense value and can lose 2 force to add a battle destiny. So he initiates battle. He's going to get a force back. And he retrieves. Force is strong with this one because of the epic event. He's going to take a swing here at Lord Sidious. And he draws off 4. And let's see if he hits Mr. Sidious. He's defense value, 9 we said, right? So I guess his best strategy here is to try to overpower him with the 2 battle destinies. Yeah, defense value 9 because of the epic event. Or not the epic event, the Admiral's Order. Alright, so he's got to lose a force, or lose 2 force here. Yeah, so that's probably a misplay. His best hope here is, he draws like a 3 and a 5, or a 4 and a 4. Something like that, and the opponent draws whatever, and then has to peel. Make him peel cards. Make him peel 3, 4, 5 if he wants to keep Lord Sidious out. I should make my camera smaller so I'm not blocking the cards here in the corner. Although the GIMP thing, I can move myself over here. There we go. So yeah, he definitely, and losing 2 forces is kind of tough to swallow, but your deck, every time you initiate a battle, you get 1 force back. So, and you want to keep battling. So now he's just going to peel 1 here and keep Sidious around. So it probably would have been worth lose the 2, hope you draw like a 4 or 5, and then you kind of net out a few more. But it was, semi-fortunate that Dark drew a 5. But now Dark's going to be able to counterbeat here. He's got the Hoojix, so he doesn't really have anything to worry about in terms of overflow, but it looks like Dark is shield busted already. But Secret Plans is out, so he kind of has like an extra shield with his starting effect. Alright, so drain 1, he loses Escape Pod combo. Emperor's Orders. So we're seeing some unique cards. We have 3 epic events on the table. Wow, okay, this is a flops deck. Okay, alright, we got some fun stuff here. Alright, so I think that means Walk Kill Movie is probably coming out, right? Did he pull that at some point? Yeah, this card pulls Walk Kill Movie. So he might have some ties. We haven't really seen a verify yet, right? Newt Gunray is going to be cheap. Mara Jade is going to be deploy -1 to the Admiral's order. And now this could get kind of iffy. So now he might be getting set back. Draws the 7. So even though Anakin's defense value 8, this looks like it's probably going to hit. Yeah, easy hit. Draws a 12 versus an 8. So Anakin's going to be hit and forfeit 0. And he's definitely going to go away. So, let's see. Who's he swinging at? Sidious. I guess if he didn't have force field last turn, he probably doesn't have it this turn. So yeah, I guess that makes sense. Alright, so he gets the redraw with the mother effect. Your thoughts dwell on your mother. So he gets to reload in Anakin. And he draws a 7. Wow. Alright, so he needs to draw another 3, though, because of the defense value boost. And he draws a 4. So he's going to hit Sidious. This is probably worth it to lose the 2 again to try to... If he can draw a 4-4 or 4-5 or 3-5, he can take out... Or maybe not. Oh, man, this effect is... Your non-pilot warrior is forfeit +1, so... Yeah, so that's forfeit 7 for Newt and forfeit 8 for Mara. So he has to get to... It's the Power Destiny with flagship... I call it flagship operations. Emperor's Orders, which I barely know what that card does. Alright, so 6 of total power... Alright, so... Did he lose the Ant? No, he lost Anakin from top. Okay. Alright, and Dark draws a 4 and a 4, so this is probably going to be a Hujik situation. Yeah, it's definitely going to be a Hujik situation. He does draw 6, though. So that's pretty good. If he draws another, 3, he's going to take out everybody, and everyone's going to die. Draws a 5. Okay, alright, so this looks like I can speed this replay up a little bit. Looks like everyone's going to go lost here. Newt goes first, then Anakin. And he's going to get the ping from the epic event. Okay. Jedi Resilience is interesting. Probably worth it. Maybe not, because you got Anakin in your hand. That's probably a little more... I don't know. I guess it could go either way. You might want to save it for, like, EPP Luke. But Hujix cancels the damage. Everyone dies here. Both players have drains of 1 set up in space. Or you know what? Is this a... This might be 2. So Emperor's Orders. I do not see this card played very often. So at Battleground Sisters, where you have a piloted capital starship and a tie, your force drain's equal to. So you need to... he needs to have a tie there before he does anything. Alright, so out comes the nightclub, and then he just passes. Yeah, I might not have done that. If you're going to do that, you might as well put Anakin there, or you could maybe try to get in a situation. This is kind of, I think, one of the principles of a mains deck. It might feel a little unusual or non-ideal, but you probably want to hold that back and then just try to get on, the platform, perhaps, and just not give them battleground sites to go to, and try to keep forcing them out. All right, let's keep playing here. All right, he gets 5d6. He's going to pay 3 adrenaline for 1. I probably don't like that. It's probably better just to start trying to establish somewhere else, especially when he's got Silence's Golden's Sith Probe Droid. Your damage... Ooh, reserve deck looked pretty bad. Look, there was a... Oh, no, that was a lost pile. Phew, there's a lot of 1s in there. Alright, so he's going with Anakin. This is not going to be good because he can just exclude, right? So this is where he definitely should have gone down with Jedi Anakin, because he's going to battle here, and he's just going to exclude. So that's a misplay by Zach. Yeah, so he just... Lord Sidious is pretty strong card. So... Yeah, and that's where the paying the 3 to drain 1, maybe he should have just tried to go down with, 2 or 3 powerful characters. And, alright, here's IG-88, he's going to barrier him. It's a pretty interesting deck from darthjeeps here. We got droids, we got Emperor's Orders, Silence is Golden, definitely something off meta, I would say, and D-Lots. Okay, so he's going to be choking R2. Yes, this is now kind of 2 battles where... And then that shouldn't be the case, where he's kind of battled and they've been not successful, and then he's gotten counterbeat situations that he's got to deal with. All right, wow, so he just chokes Anakin. All right, so now he can play Resilience again. He doesn't, he should definitely, although there's no tries out, so never mind. He probably doesn't need to worry about the Sense Alter Shield. All right, so R2 is just hanging out here. Yeah, like, it might have been, see, Dark probably wants to be at the incinerator here, because then they can retrieve the droid if you control. During control phase, maybe use 2 force to retrieve a droid. He definitely should pull aim high already. He's definitely going to need aim high. There it is. Okay. So it kind of sucks, because if you take over the incinerator, it's a drain -1. So even if you have a lightsaber there, it's only a drain of 1. Not really a great place to camp out. So that's where maybe the better approach. If he's going to put out the nightclub, start trying to drain. All right, so he gets the Jedi Council Chamber. He's going to be able to up his activation. He's going to have good that he has people on Coruscant to kind of, if he needs to go over there to beat some spy off of the location to prevent the force drain, he can then just move back over and get his drains going again. All right, so Dark is going to retrieve a droid. This might be a deck that you might just want to keep, since Force Servitude's out of the equation, just keep trying to get your drains through if you're light side, I think, here. But be ready to then counterbeat would be the plan. So he's got plenty of characters in his hands. All right, so U-3PO. He's going to be able to get rid of U-3PO with this. Hopefully he remembers to play it. During your turn, opponent's spy at a site you control targets lost. Immune to O-switch off. So he should play it. There we go. All right, so Zach plays it, gets rid of it. And it's going to make it lost, and now he can retrieve U-3PO with the incinerator. But at some point, there's probably got to be like a 4-LOM V, EPP 4-LOM V, floating around. If I was him, I guess he doesn't have a Hoojix. But he does have Solo, right? So he's got Hoojix in the lost pile. I would have been tempted to play Handle just to get a drain of 3 through. Alright, EPP Luke's going here. I don't know why. I don't like that. To try to get a drain of 1 here. I don't think that's a great use of Luke. Because Rey's pretty vulnerable over here. I think Luke would have been much better off just going to the nightclub. And trying to solidify the drain of 2. Because, I mean, Dark looks like their shield busted, so they can't play Coward, probably. Unless they find, like, Cold Feet V. Alright, a couple drains here. Retrieve. Life Force. Pretty even. Alright, there's 4-LOM V. So now he can start cycling cards around. Which should bode well for Darkseid. Alright, only card in the reserve deck is a 5. Yeah, this probably means that Rey's going to get killed by something. Ooh, maybe worse. Maybe the cannons. Yeah, that's not good. Yeah. That's going to be rough. He's got 2 Resilience in hand. I don't think he has anything to get out of this. The last card in his hand looks like Yoda. So, yeah, so that's not what you want. And then he concedes. Okay, alright, so Hunchui Falcon gets shot down. Yeah, so what takeaways from that, I mean, this is kind of a tricky deck to try to anticipate, but the cannons are pretty brutal. I'm not really sure. To have, like, anti-space weapons tech, there's not a lot of it. Maybe that's where you save a barrier for. But even then, you're just going to have to keep running around, I guess, and trying to. But he's probably got a few ties in there that can fire that gun. So that's kind of tricky. So maybe the pivot again, kind of one of the first things I said was, with the mains deck, you want to just keep being aggro on the opponent's sites. So maybe that would have been better if you kind of maybe played a little more patient early on, and then just really tried to bombard the 2 Cloud City sites and win them over. And if he could have kept Darkseid off the sites, he doesn't get the retrieval. You might have to pay for battle plan for the drain. Yeah, so that's tricky. Not a ton to really learn. A little bit, but not a lot. All right, so that's the first game. All right, this is versus Mr. Arebelspy. Yeah, I mean, in a perfect world, Zach, maybe you do like the resistance transport, which, because it's a capital, it can't be targeted by that SFS cannon, but you kind of have to sniff that out. You have to move your guys over. I don't know if that's probably, yeah, maybe that's a stretch to do that, to try to play around the SFS cannons. Alright, so he's got the mother deck again here with Anakin, volleying against Thrawn, starting code clearance, Endor Shield, and alert my Star Destroyer V. Pretty standard start for Thrawn here. This looks like a pretty decent hand. I mean, again, he drew a Hujix, which is always nice. But he didn't get the puller again. I don't know if he's got 4 or 5 of the Now This Is Pod Racing card. I feel like when I play this deck, I also have the same problem, where I never draw that card. Even when I'm playing 4, maybe even 5. It probably needs 5, because it's so crucial to get your other 2-0 out, and also to get your Battleground Slate out. But in certain matchups, it's more critical than others. Alright, so General A goes down, plays the Grabber, plays Battle Plan. He's going to eat 2 damage here, presuming that Joe's going to pay 3, but he's only activating 9, so he is giving his opponent 1. So Joe pays the 3, so he's only got 6 force left to work with. Gives him the 5 Destiny card, and draw their fire. Secret Plans, yeah, that's a smart play from Joe. You definitely want that shield. Kashyyyk comes from reserve deck. See, I don't know. I mean, I guess the play with Zach might have been here, get General Leia out, which means you suspend the Admiral's orders, which can slow Joe down a little bit more, because he is not activating a ton. So that was a decent play. I guess the one risk you have is if he comes down with General Veer's V and like Blizzard 1 or Blizzard 2 V or Blizzard 8, but this would be helpful in that case, where she would be immune and you get a Power Destiny, so you could probably withstand and then counterfight. So yeah, I think I like that play. Yeah, and I like the play here not to drain, not to pay 3 or drain for 1. Alright, he's going to get Falcon out. Chewie, pretty loaded. Now he doesn't have to pay for Battle Plan. Threatening 2 damage, but he, at the same thing... Ooh, no, oh, okay. Maybe he knew that was in there. I would have probably waited till his... If I didn't know, maybe he saw that the 2-0 was in there. It would have been really bad to whiff on that pull with Now This Is Pod Racing. So you could have waited till your turn, recirculate the 9, but maybe, I think he must have seen it when he put out the Falcon. Alright, so we've got I've Lost R2 in there, some interesting stuff in Joe's reserve. Alright, so Tarkin and Mahdi, or Tarkin and Ozzel. So you got a pretty loaded Chimera here, so this Falcon's probably going to be running, but then you got to worry about stuff like Gravity Shadow, lateral damage, and I've Lost R2 might be coming out on Joe's next turn. Alright, so Trample gets lost from reserve deck. See now, oh, I'm sorry. Oh yeah, so now he doesn't have to pay to drain. Okay, so drain for 1. Okay, now we get Anakin out. He's going to get a Saber. This is now going to turn to a drain of 2. That's good. And he's going to run away and draw, right? There's a Gravity Shadow. Eek. Alright, so Joe's going to be drawing this blind, but he has a lot of high destiny, I'm sure, and he only needed to draw 3, really, to cause trouble. So that's not good. I'm going to pull the Nightclub out from the reserve deck. So he's probably going to lose his space presence here, and then this is going to turn into a... this is Force Drain -1. So what is that? 2 damage. Here's the Admiral's order. Oh. Excuse me. That's right. So while Thrawn piloting and game text may not be canceled. So... yeah, alright, so what I said about General Leia suspending the Admiral's order, that was wrong. So, yes. Yeah, Zach, yeah, and you had this one comment that you probably went to space a little early. Yeah, if you kind of need your tricks. Like, this made me think of when I just commentated, I think it was last week, when Joe was playing Kieran in the Gem PC top 8, that Kieran went to space, I think, like, it seemed kind of early, but I have a feeling he probably had, like, they're tracking SV, and maybe he had another 1 or 2 tricks up his sleeve just to kind of survive in space for a little bit. But yeah, this is big trouble. Alright, so he reveals it, so he gets the power, 3 power added. This is a huge amount of power, 3 destinies. He can redraw that with Grand Moff Tarkin. Vengeance is going to ping here. The Thrawn Arts Collection is going to ping, right, because... wins battle, same battleground. And Joe's really making sure that he gets Peleon. He takes it into hand? No, he just canceled and redrew it, right? Yeah, he calls the redraw. Alright, and then he draws a 5. So pretty good destinies for Joe. He's got 48 power. This is going to be a Hujik situation. And Joe's going to lose one of these numpties. And then we got a ping and a ping. And he's going to completely lose this. And he just conceded. Okay. Yeah, this would be tough. Although, so let's see. So Joe's going to be at 38. And Zach's going to be at 30 or 41. So Zach's actually up. He's going to get 2 damage through. You know, eventually, he could put the nightclub down, throw Luke there. He'd be safe from walkers and veers. And you just got to wonder to what extent he could then just try to race. Joe's only activating 11. In that case, I'd probably hold back the nightclub for as long as possible just to not give Joe the force. Especially because he's going to have to be paying for battle plan. And I don't know, it might have gotten close. I probably wouldn't have conceded there. I know that really sucks that your space is gone, but there's 4 battleground systems out here. So that really favors light side. I think that's one of the benefits. You see this Master Kenobi deck right now, that a lot of people are playing the Tatooine system, the EP1 version, which means that Dark can't draw more than 1 battle destiny there, first of all. Second of all, that extra system is really good because you keep running away, which is why, you know, Joe's playing a card like I've Lost R2 and Gravity Shadow. So you can kind of, Dark side can kind of deal with the running around in space. So that's where the system's going to play in. So I probably would not have conceded quite this early. But, and then he's got the handle as well, so you can kind of maybe try to sneak an extra damage through. Maybe Joe grabs it. Probably grabs it, but then maybe have something else you can circulate late with 3PO. Like, what are the odds that, you know, I'm not sure if Joe's playing Restraining Bolt or not. But, yeah, I think that might not have been too bad. He probably could have gotten it kind of close. But we'll see. I'm sure Joe's obviously very, 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 very good player. And probably has some tricks in here, but I would have tried to race him a little bit more for at least a few turns and see how things develop. Okay. All right, so that's the second game. Let's go to the third game here. This is against Charlie, another new Allies member. He's playing Hunt Down V. Let me just check my notes here. And by notes, my notes, I mean Zach's notes. Let's see. This one didn't seem too out of control. I feel like I couldn't keep up. Went to the nightclub. Completely forgot the nightclub's text. Okay. All right, so this one you would expect a lot of battles. I played this matchup a couple times. I think it's Hunt Down V. You kind of have to respect the fact that light can come down with like Rey or Padawan Anakin, get a saber, and do some disruption early. And it's probably going to activate, honestly, Hunt Down V. So Charlie's playing the one with the system, the Crush the Rebellion V, so he can pull out Mustafar, but he gets both sights out, one from hand, one from reserve. That's really nice when you draw Enforcement, because that's the effect that some people choose to start instead of this and not play the system. But now he's kind of solidifying, helping to ensure that he draws high destinies in key moments, which this Hunt Down V has lots of high destinies. All right, and you draw both Imperial Enforcements very early. All right, so he tosses the one. And we'll see what the plan here is. So maybe let's pause here. So like people talk about the lines a lot. So he's got 7. Dark's gonna activate 9. 10 cards in hand. He does have a barrier. I mean, I'd be tempted to just go down with Rey to the Force Drain 1 site. Yeah, this one. Pull something useful probably from your use pile. Maybe a handle, which would make Rey pretty good in a defensive battle. Would be one example. Maybe a blaster deflection won't work, but maybe like a dodge if he has that. But just put the pressure on Dark to deal with the potential drain of 3. R2 probably, and then, you know, if the barrier works, then he can possibly come back down and try to, if he's going to put Polis Moss out, he's going to get 2 more force. He could probably come down with Jedi Anakin, R2, and Rey, and try to get a counter beat in. It would thin his hand pretty bad for his turn 2, but he could if he catches Charlie without a gick, or just in general sets him back by knocking off character and a lightsaber, perhaps, if it's like an Inquisitor. All right, so he cycles with 3PO. Yeah, obviously there's 2 Force there. I'd be tempted to just do Rey, yeah. But he's just going to draw, which isn't a bad idea either. So he draws another Rey, draws the Anakin. Maybe he knew that too. Yeah, it would have been bad if he deployed and then whiffed on the Anakin. So yeah, in retrospect, definitely a good idea from Zach there, not to do what I was initially suggesting. Because yeah, context matters. Is the where's Anakin Saber? Know where that is. Are we gonna verify there? We see an Emperor shuttle. Mitt. Looks like pretty sure there was a gick there, so he knows the gick is in the reserve. All right, Vader. Probably should get some sense alter protection out. Maybe wise advice if he's playing senses himself, or do or do not if he is not playing any senses. All right, so dark is flipped. Still the activating 9. Yeah, hunt down V. I don't know. Is he purposely not putting out Mustafar? Or is it kind of stuck in his force pile? All right, so now he has the handle. Pulse Massa comes out. He's going to go to space here. Looks like playing that for Leia's resistance transport, or probably not R2 and Red 5. That would also be a reason to play the Imperial Detention Shield. Makes him pay the 2 for Luke, but you probably want Luke on the ground. A lot of times you want Luke on the ground. All right, so he put Anakin's back with 3PO. Knows it's in his reserve deck. He can now battle here. Vader's going to pull Vader's anger, probably. Lightsaber Pari, interesting. All right. Yeah, Charlie should have pulled Secret Plans. So that was a free retrieval for light side. Because he wouldn't have had the Force to pay for it. So he's going to swing at Vader. Let's see, is there a Force field? Yep, and no Force to grab it, which is unfortunate. But yeah, this early game, every Force matters early game. That's where a lot of times you don't want to be paying 3 to drain 1. Not that was the case here, but... all right, so he swings, draws a 6. He needs now a 3. And he gets just enough to hit Anakin, forfeit 0. Doesn't play the lightsaber Pari. That's obviously because he has the force field. So he's going to stop his opponent's swing. Lightsaber Pari is like a Jedi's concentration for dark side, except it's 1 less destiny. All right, so he's going to lose the 2 to add a battle destiny. Vader's anger is going to add 3. We'll see what happens here. See, is everyone going to die? Probably. Dark would have to draw pretty low, and then R2, the R2 destiny, which would, if in battle with Anakin or Luke, may draw destiny and subtract them out from attrition. So draws a 4 and a 7. All right, so Vader is going to have to go to the lost pile. Draws a 3, so that's going to become a 6. So R2 would have to draw a 6 to survive. Just shy. So Anakin's gonna, or everyone's gonna die. Put it that way. No overflow anywhere. Hunt down V. Flips momentarily. All right, he plays resilience. Charlie grabs that because that can get annoying to keep getting retrieved and cycling. Not a bad grab. It's probably good. At least make him pay the force for each time he does that with EPP Luke or these Anakins or Reys. All right, so everyone dies there. Let's speed this up. And Visage Ping. All right, so still early on. Looks like they're about dead even. Ooh, uses the Walkling to retrieve the Falcon. Yeah, he's got to do that. Secret Plans now comes out. All right, so yeah, now next turn he can do the Star Pilot move because he's going to know that the Falcon is in his reserve deck. Pair them up. Maybe even go to Mustafar. And it's a drain of 1. Probably better to go here where you're safe, a little safer. Because Dark, to move or deploy your starship requires +1. And then this, if you're Skywalker, although there's probably not going to be a Skywalker there. Opponent may draw more than 2. Alright, so he goes Rey. Cycles the Anakin, loses draw their fire from reserve deck. I would have been tempted at this point to just lose the nightclub, because these two battlegrounds are going to be where all the action is, the two Mustafar ones. And I feel like this, it's like a win more, and it's probably just going to be, you don't want to deploy that and give your opponent an out at some point. So the goal right now is to win these two battlegrounds. Just keep throwing stuff. So he's going to pass. Interesting. So he has the barrier. He has the handle to protect Rey. If Dark is like a sniper, that's going to be pretty bad. Yeah, he's got the speak Jedi count. Both players activating pretty low, only 11 and 12 here. Yo, oof, this is brutal. Sniper. Yeah, so that's where maybe... Alright, so we can cancel that, which he's got to do. Let's see if he can survive. No, that's a bummer. So he draws super... Dark draws super high. Rey is gone, and now he's going to have to eat a drain of 3 here. That's a rough turn. And he's got to pay the 2 to get resilience, to get Rey back. Let's see, what are we 3POing? So yeah, probably would have been better. I don't usually like that move. And I know some good players do it. It can be done tactfully, but you have to be very careful if you deploy in front of something and then pass. I feel like, especially if you only have one character there, like, yeah, you don't want to battle and then have everything go bad and then it backfire. It would be really bad if you deploy like 1 or like 2 or 3 characters and you end up losing 1 or 2 and then you have somebody stranded. That's a good reason to do the deploy pass. But in this situation, you know, like, I don't know what Zach's plan there probably wasn't great, because he's probably just thinking, I'd rather barrier a new character, try to get rid of Vader on Dark's turn, and then come back and try to beat up the other character. But yeah, I mean, there's definitely probably 2 snipers, possibly 2 snipers in the Dark deck. He probably has blast door controls, or they're still coming through to cancel the Rebel barrier. Yeah, and I think he was obviously still kind of force choked. So, and during a 3 is kind of tough to swallow, but I probably would have just done Anakin. I think that would have been a little bit better, because then at least you're probably getting the ping, you're probably getting the retrieval unless he pulls coward. And hindsight's always 20/20, but I didn't like that play with Rey, because you're just kind of leaving her like hanging out there. To quote The Godfather, coming out of the bathroom with, you know the famous line from The Godfather. You do not want to be kind of left out to dry there. All right, so Anakin's lightsaber comes back, and we'll see what he does here. So gets the Jedi Council out. That's good. Not going to draw a 0 for Destiny here. Looks like he had a couple 1s in there. Vader's going to upload Vader's anger. He's going to get the retrieval. That's good. Has to pay for it. Retrieval with the Force is Strong in My Family. But lightsaber Pari. Oh man. So this is Tank Vader versus Tank Anakin. Pretty meta here. So he loses 2. He loses a 7 and a 4 off the top. Dark is going to be adding 2 to total battle destiny, which means Dark has to draw 4. Or crack the immunity. Dark needs to draw, I think this is less than 7 with the Jedi, right? Yeah, so he needs to draw a 7. And he draws a 4 and a 4, so looks like everyone's going to die here. Both lightsabers will also go to Lost Pile, but they will surely both return. So yeah, I think he should have done this last turn. Would have saved himself 3 Force, right? He did a drain last turn after he snipered the Rey, right? So make sure I'm not going crazy. Yeah, handle, Lando, free ride combo. Okay. Alright, so back and forth here. Dark is at 27. Light is at 26. A few less cards in hand. So it's still fairly close. Basically nothing on the board. Light has 2 Anakins in hand. Here comes Vader V again. There was a good article written about this card by Drew Lichtenstein when set 19 came out last summer. You can just search Vader parentheses V on the homepage. You can see some of the thought process that went into creating that card, which was pretty neat in that it made the 2-player game Vader helpful. Once again, it is interesting that this is a black border card because everything on Jump is black border by default, even though you can't possibly get that card in real life. You need sleeves or a Sharpie to make that happen. Alright, so he deploys Mara to just cover that second battleground. So there's 2 battleground sites. Looks like Zach's going to go to space here. That's probably going to be everything he does this turn. Solo for 4. Yeah, I don't think I like this either. And I think he might have said this. I think he said turn 5. I think Zach acknowledged after the fact, like, this is where you get in this tricky spot where it's like, oh, he's probably, you know, my opponent's got a 14-card hand. He probably has a force field. He probably has a lightsaber party. Like, it's kind of tricky what you do here, but you can't. You're gonna have to eat a drain of 3 here on your turn. If you do this, he really has to have a good plan for his next turn, because now Dark is probably going to reinforce those sites, maybe even swap the characters so you can then set up, you know, drains of 2 and 2 instead of 3 and 1. Goes to the nightclub here, pulls Hujix. I should have probably slowed that down to try to see if there's any other better options, but it probably is a decent call. I felt like I couldn't keep up on the ground, so chose to go to space and the nightclub. I completely forgot the nightclub's text and things spiraled, so I wonder if he's thinking about the exclusion. So yeah, so I think barrier does not work. So you prevent them from battling, which I think default excludes them, and of course the nightclub says may not be excluded from battle on both sides. Neither player's characters, if this will rotate. Your characters here, defense value -1, may not be excluded. So the barrier is not going to help him. You know, 14 cards in Charlie's hand, he definitely has an Inquisitor. He's definitely going to have an easy time deploying or drawing what a 3 to crack raise immunity. Oh, he forgot to play battle plan. Oh, that's backbreaking too. I shouldn't say backbreaking. I mean, oh yeah, he should have played that a couple turns ago. I should have realized that. Definitely need to do that to slow him down. At this point, he's got a ton of active, so it probably would make a huge difference here. But a couple turns ago, it might have helped. Would have prevented him from drawing up quite as much, maybe. All right, so still doesn't play now he plays the barrier on Tarkin because he wants to shut off the extra destiny that he would add with Mitt, since he's also a leader. Shuttle. So now Charlie's just establishing space, going wide here, so he's not going to pay for his drains. No one gets excluded. Zach's probably like, oh crap. Gets the redraw with enforcement, and this is probably going to be the game. Yeah, some takeaways on this one. All right, so he draws a ton. It's probably going to be a Hujix here. He draws Anakin, which he can redraw with. He chooses not to? Or what did I miss there? He conceded. Yeah, so he has to burn his Hujix, and he gets set behind. He's only got Anakin to deal with here. Yeah, it'd probably be real tough. So this is where the one takeaway I have from this turn, we're on turn 6 here, is that this is where you have to have like a timer in your head of you have to be aggro. Because if you let Dark build their hand, get on locations, reinforce locations, find their space, all those things that just incrementally get easier as the game goes along. And Light's putting no pressure on this via damage. So Light has to put all the pressure on via battling. And that's what the main decks want to do. You know, I wouldn't say it's an easy matchup. To some extent, you're taking some gambles and risks about what your destinies are, and maybe gambling that your opponent doesn't have a force field, doesn't have a barrier, doesn't have all sorts of stuff to disrupt you. But I don't think this is going to be the way to win the game, of just going to Pulse Massa and deploying to the nightclub when, you know, the deck probably has 20. Dark deck has at least 20 characters, probably. A lot of tons that draw on their own. Like, Rey's not staying anywhere. So that's where I think I said it earlier in this stream, I probably wouldn't have put out the nightclub at all. At least not until, like, maybe I would have held it until very late game if I had to. But even then, like, you can't let Vader sit on this site and drain for 3. That there's just no way you're going to win the game by doing that, because the light deck is only maybe drain 1 in space. This nightclub drain isn't going to last. You have to win the battlegrounds. Kind of like old school, like Hunt Down versus Throne Room, or Hunt Down versus Hitko, Hunt Down a non-V. Like, you're just duking it out over the battleground, because everyone's the one key battleground. wins the game. Okay, all right, so let's see. We've been streaming for 46 minutes. I got a couple other games. I think we could jump into them. They're not the same angle of mains, but they are. One of them, not to pick on Zach, but one of them is me versus Zach in the OCS here. Let's see, what's this one? Yeah, maybe. Yeah, I'll do this one first, and then I have one versus Mike Kessling's OA. So this was this month's OCS, and Zach was playing OA. And I think at this point, well, I'm not sure. I'm not sure if we talked about doing the replays and getting the replays before or after this happened. But I remember in the moment thinking, I definitely want to give him some pointers after the game on what to do. So this is me playing Hunt Down V. He is not playing the main deck this time. He's playing OA, which I know he's been gradually trying to get better with. But yeah, there was a bunch of things in this game where I was like, definitely want to tell him not to do that next time, or tell him to do this instead. And then we'll kind of contrast this. And again, not to pick on him. Hopefully he's good sport. But then I played against Kessling, and that was a game where I thought a lot was going right, and then eventually I still lose. He was playing away, but Kessling's, definitely one of the top, what do you want to say, 2, 3, 5 old Allies players in the game. All right, so not to take anything away from his overall skills, too. I think he's ranked number 4 in the Gen PC, and he just made it to the top 4, so he's doing just fine, Mr. Mike Kessling. All right, so gets General Leia. I put out both my battleground sites. I go Vader here because I don't know why I did this. I guess I figured I'd move over here my turn. And I think I didn't want to whiff on Vader's lightsaber on my turn, because Vader having the lightsaber is very important. So I figure, let me make sure I don't activate it on my turn too. Yeah, he's going to sit there, because I don't want to force to move him using the text to either my location or his location. This deck, Darkside definitely wants to go to Jakku, because if they set up on the Jakku sites, they can just reduce any drain over here on other planets down to 1. Alright, so get the Raise Encampment out. Pretty scripted turn 1 all the time for OA. He goes Lando, goes Rey, so now he's got 4 cards in his use pile to pick from. Maybe he should have done a Brave Resistance swap with Leia and grab somebody else like Solo. And then pull Leia again for the second strike planning general pull up here. But or get Finn to back up. So he's now going to shut off Visage. I lost my Visage, but he is not going to. He flips, which some people forget to flip. Which I think is actually what happened in my game with Kessling. See, now that I don't, let's see, why was he, so he played their tracking us to activate 1 force, and hopefully the thinking there is he has like a barrier in his hand, or I don't know, but they're tracking us V and a Dark Time for the Rebellion V. Those are really good cards. I usually like to hold on to them until you really need them, until you really need that extra force, or otherwise it's good just to hold on to it, and maybe that subtracting 1 from a Destiny really comes in handy at a key moment. So I wouldn't dump it unless there was a really good reason, and it's obviously got other good functions. So this was kind of sneaky. He doesn't pull Battle Plan, he doesn't pull Simple Tricks, Shields, so I get a free drain of 1 in over here. So that's, I don't think it's crazy. He probably should have taken, no, if you want to keep Ray on the ground, I think, so he can suspend Visage. I don't actually, at the same time, like, you could take off, get drains of 2 in here, be pretty strong in space, and then as long as you're both, and then at that point you wouldn't both be losing to Visage. I don't know. You probably want Ray on the ground in the vehicle to suspend Visage. But if he plays Battle Plan here, then he's going to pay for it on his turn, was what I was getting at. So I don't think it's, I guess it's kind of, this is a situation where at the beginning of the game you kind of need to know, okay, what shields do I need? And who's probably going to pull Battle Plan? It's probably going to be Lightside that does it. So, I don't know. It's like, do you want to save the 1 force? It wasn't like egregious or anything, but it was kind of a sneaky play. I could see an argument for not pulling it there. Alright, so I put down my 9th sister here. Cancel Ray's game text. he loses the force to preserve it, so he keeps a 3 power and the +1. And I'm just going to battle here because I'm going to be able to get 2 Destiny. This thing has no immunity. Take that back. Well, Finn aboard has immune less than 4. So if I can draw up to an 8 with 2 Destiny, my total Destiny is +2. So I basically need to draw a 6 to kill both pilots. I don't know if I like that grab from him there. There might have been some other things that might have been better, but because it is a lost interrupt, but I could cycle it. So I draw a 3 and a 5, so that's enough to kill both pilots. And so maybe he was trying to bluff the barrier there. I did have the sense for it. He definitely should have his sense alter shield out here, probably there, or probably do or do not, to cancel it, or at least make me lose effectively 3 force to my sense. He draws a 5. Everyone's going to die here, and that sets him back pretty good. But now I'm gonna I messed this up in the moment. I should have played that after he lost Rey, not after he lost General Lando. So I remember I was doing this and I was like, wait, why is Mara still in my lost pile? She should be in my used pile. So I didn't ask for a revert. And I think what Zach did, I didn't realize it at first. I probably should have called it out. Like, I think he meant to pull battle plan. He pulled ultimatum. So I don't know. Those are the types of things. Maybe he was up. Maybe he was tired. I don't think that ultimatum's a card you probably are going to need in this matchup. Maybe. But definitely not for a while. It definitely shouldn't be and he played perimeter scan V to pull it. But that was a mistake. So I moved Vader over here. So, which also might not have been a great play, because if he can set up and control 2 battlegrounds for old allies, he can just reduce this to 1. But I think part of my thinking was he's going to need to reinforce. Like, he needs a lot to go right for him to be able to do that on this next turn of his. So I figured I don't want to just move right in front of that Falcon, let him come down with a couple things that I don't really have, like barrier or anything like that. All right, so we have Solo, Han's Metal. Of course, I have 2 Ninth Sisters in my hand, which are pretty good against old allies. He's got Poe, he's got Solo. Neither of those are going to satisfy Ninth Sister's requirement to have a character of ability greater than 3. So I'm getting kind of anxious here. He does have Rebel Flight Suit, so that card's so good. It really is. It's like the best way to deal with Imperial Command. Alright, so Cassian Andor off the top. Now I'm going to get... Now, he still needs to build battle plan. I think I offered in the game, and he said, no, I got to learn... gotta learn somehow, or this will... Which I can get. I think I used to do that when I was first playing. Like, if I make errors, they'll stick in my brain, so then the next time I won't do it. But... and so then it probably doesn't make sense for him to pull it now, because now he might be able to actually get a drain through for 1, would be his perspective. But yeah, he's just got to remember the next turn. Make me pay for it. I'm only activating 11 force. That paying for drain, I might forego that for a big turn. All right, so he does not want to see Ninth Sister right now, because he is going to not be able to get any Battle Destiny here. So he loses the force. So he loses the force to keep the power, I guess, from Han Solo. He's going to add 3. Otherwise, he would have been... His game text would have been canceled. He wouldn't have added 3. Comes down with Finn, which I'm fully aware of is possible. He has no Sense Alter Shield out. I'm going to play Sense to cancel the Finn react. What's my thinking here? So if I draw like a 5, I can get rid of Solo. Oh, wait a minute. Why didn't he cancel it? Right? Am I missing something? Why didn't he use the flight suit? And why didn't I account for the flight suit? So yeah, he definitely should have used... It's 1 non-immune to sense interrupt? Whoa, what happened to my jump? There we go. Alright. Once per game, if characters piloting a battle may cancel. Yeah, he should have canceled that. I'm surprised I didn't. That was kind of a risky play for me. Maybe I just tried to beat out the flight suit. I don't have to really be afraid of getting overflowed. But he would have had more... would have been close. He would have got 3 more power from Finn, which would have made it 14. And Ninth Sister would have just covered. I would have just set him back a little bit. Alright, so he draws 2 high destiny, but they're both going to be reduced to 0 in total. Alright, so he's going to lose... Solo. The flight suit's on Poe. And I'm going to run away, because I don't want to let him, deploy back in front of me with, like, Corran Horn or General Leia or something like that. I just run away. Threat Adrena 2 here, 3 here. I got Lana Dubry combo. Should, like, Chewie come down and try to make my characters forfeit 0. That's a way to preserve it. Neither of us pull battle plan. I don't really want to pull it, because I think in the long term it's probably going to hurt me more. So we still don't have battle plan out here. The Graveyard comes out. General Leia comes out. This Admiral Statura. And the Resistance Transport he's going to flip, which is going to enable him to reduce my Destiny draw. This does not protect against that. Just protects against canceling, whereas a Dark Time for the Rebellion V prevents modify or cancel. Radis. Leia initiates battle, gets the retrieval, has to pay for secret plans. Gonna get 2 Destiny here. And there's a chance here I get overflowed a little bit. Like if he draws like 4-5 again, that's what, 15? And if I draw like a 3, I think I'm gonna have to lose 3. But he only draws a 1, so I think I'm gonna be okay here. And don't really have to lose any extra force. And I have another Ninth Sister in my hand. Who I can then go and attack this Falcon again. So let me speed this up. So yeah, so a few things going right here for me, but and I like have barely ever played Old Allies, so I don't maybe know like the ideal path to play. But now he's sort of stabilizing because now he can reduce this, right? And he just conceded. I think his connection, he dropped a couple times, but yeah, like, he definitely could have reduced the strain from 3 to 1. I remember sitting there being like, make sure you use your objective, make sure you use your objective. And I think he had to, like, he dropped and added a couple times with the connection. I think he said that too. So I think he was actually starting to stabilize a little bit. His hand is only 5. That was a good move to move Poe over there, so I didn't, like, just get no escape or have another Ninth Sister, which I actually did, and just deploy in front and get rid of Poe. I have 31 cards face down. He's got 24. But I can, I could put Yasan over here, put Emperor somewhere. Like, I'm probably just going to have to acknowledge that I'm going to be paying to drain all game. But the Hunt Down V, the characters are very efficient. So, I'm not sure. I probably win the long run, but definitely just kind of disrupting OA's start was big. But definitely make sure you're pulling battle plan when you're supposed to. And I think there was 1 or 2 other things that I kind of pointed out on that one. All right, so then one more, as we are about an hour, so this will be a little more than an hour stream, exactly an hour. So this was me versus Kessling in the OCS, just like it was me versus Zach before. I was playing Revenge of the Sith, Dooku starting Naboo. This is what I played in my GemPC round of 32 match with Charlie, and I won versus Ender Funeral Pyre Mains deck by, I think, 11 or 12. So I'm kind of warming up on this deck a little bit, but, playing against a very, very good OA player, wasn't really sure. I mean, me playing against Kessling OA, I feel like no matter what I play, I'm going to be disadvantaged. But I did take some risks in this game, and I thought it actually started off very well. But, yeah, we'll see how it progresses. So I get Cold Feet, play Secret Plans. Pretty much, you're always going to need Secret Plans versus Old Allies. Grabber, cool, I get the bridge in my opening hand, which is great. Going to be able to see what's in my reserve deck, not worry about him grabbing it. Get my docking bay out. Going to go Dooku down turn 1, start applying some pressure. Threaten a drain of 3 here. He's got a Force Lightning. and feel pretty good so far. And a barrier, but the barrier is not going to do much for me. I don't have like wipe, which would be helpful. So he's got the AI raise encampment again, just like we just saw. So he drops Holdo to upload Finn, and he's going to go for the attack here. So so obviously I can't barrier anybody because I don't have a force, but also he can't barrier a vehicle. Plays there tracking us. He plays do or do not because I have an ability 7 character on the table. Down comes Rey. So it looks like he's not actually going to battle me here, which makes sense, I guess. He's just going to move over, reinforce, and I take a risk here where I'm just going to blind force lighting. I don't want to let him hide in vehicles this whole game. And I don't really have a lot else to deal with it. So I don't think it behooves me to be conservative and try to build up to a big battle. I think that's going to favor him. So I just take a risk here and go to Force Lightning Rey and hope that I can draw 4. And I draw 5. Remember, Kessling says that was rude. But here's the fun thing about playing against OA. I mean, he could just wackling back Rey, pull her back up with Brave Resistance. I play Coward. I don't know. If I didn't draw Cold Feet in my opening hand, maybe I don't pull Coward there. But I feel like with OA, it's really hard to just actually get rid of people. So he barriers my Savage, which I wanted to lead with Savage, even though he's more power. But now I got Shizor, who will... let's see here. I think it doesn't work because this is ability 3. And I think in the battle, he was like, wait, why do I get Battle Destiny? Because a lot of people, I think, maybe might assume that the dash, because a lot of vehicles... with permanent pilots, our ability 2. Wait, what happened there? Oh, he reverted because he forgot to flip. So yeah, we went all the way back to his move phase from my deploy phase. So that was I don't want to win that way by just taking advantage of a unflip Falcon. All right, so we replayed the turn. I think a lot of people just assume that vehicles with permanent pilots are ability 2, but dash in Rogue 12 is actually 3. So that's good for him that he gets around Shizor's text. It would have been really bad if I draw a 0 here because this thing has no immunity. Because Finn or Rey are aboard. So I draw the 0, which is +1. Thanks for that cool text on Sidious's lightsaber. +1 for each Darth Jedi or Jedi on table. So I'm not overflowing, that's for damn sure. And now I think I make the decision to peel 4 here because Shizor is actually immune less than 5. I lose my starting interrupt, which isn't going to have any use. Accelerate, Master Move, Kylo. So that could have been worse in terms of cards that I top decked. So now I have 3 cards here. He just has a vehicle. So I'm feeling pretty good here. It's his turn too. I've already gotten rid of General Lando, Rey, and I'm trying to win over this site that can turn into a drain of 3 if I play my cards right. Akbar comes down. Not too worried about Akbar right now. Rey comes down. Now he's going to be able to get the Battle Destiny through Shizor. He's going to leadership. I'm going to grab it, which I had to think about, I think, because now I can't play barrier. But I don't think he's looking to battle here. And even if he is, he doesn't have a general to add with Rebel leadership. And he's just going to run away and seed the drain of 3 here, which this is a good move here. I mean, he might have It's a Hit, and if so, I'd be kicking myself because that's usually the card I like to grab against old allies. But he's not afraid to eat a drain of 3 here on turn 3. He's not, stacking that site, which might not be the wisest thing in the world. He's just, I'm going to lose 3, which is something that I think newer players, are like, I can't afford to lose a drain of 3 this early. Like sometimes early on, it's better to do it early on than late, I think, or mid game, I should say. But yeah, so he loses Holdo, Guts from hand, which isn't going to be any use, and Beaumont Ken. So I get some more locations out, and then just draw. I don't want to move in front of him. So I figure I'm just going to see the drain of 2 at the system and 1 at the site. Draw some cards, much needed cards. I got some fun stuff here with You Are Beaten. Find Assidious, find Newt Gunray, Force Push, No Escape, all sorts of good stuff. I can't really do anything about that. I can't grab it. I don't have... It wouldn't have made sense to pull Resistance to stop that drain. And I wouldn't have done anything because it would have still been 2. So he now gets a drain of 4 through. I lose You Are Beaten, I guess, because I assume he's going to keep a lot of characters in vehicles on the ground. We just saw Rogue 3 there. Rose comes down. Get a little spicy here, and I barrier her because I'm sure his plan is to just deploy Rose, flip his objective, which he did, and then run away. But I'm like, all right, I'm going to force you to now reinforce her. So, and this is where, like, old allies is like, it's annoying. It's annoying and it's resilient. So he has Solo. He's going to move in front with Rey. So now he's going to get 2 Destiny. He can get around Shizor. He's a little exposed on the ground. I can slice somebody. So big battle here. And I'm going to go get blast door controls to try to not let Rebel Barrier ruin my day. And put down blast door controls. We're going to fight it out over this site. I don't pull the saber here. I probably should try to pull. There we go. All right, so I just get a Dark Jedi lightsaber for Sidious. Now this is live. Tragedy of Plagueis. I could retrieve any character, but I think I have a Trench. So I go to battle. He goes down Finn. I cancel the react. He has a Keep Your Eyes Open. So this is like some of the annoying crap that old allies has. So that's a huge Keep Your Eyes Open, because otherwise I'd probably hit Rose, hit Solo, draw enough to kill Rey, maybe even more, because I got Nuke Gun right here. And it would have been a good battle. But Keep Your Eyes Open, which you do lose 2 cards for it, and you risk like a point man canceling it, but it can also completely swing a battle like this. This would have been way worse, I think, for him. He only draws a 4 and a 4, which means I can lose 2 of my characters to cover. My hand's pretty light here. He's going to need to lose a bunch. So he loses Rey and Rose, and that covers. Now he still has Solo and Dash, and he's kind of okay, because now he's getting closer and closer to just pulling Ultimatum, and that would really favor him. All right, so I pull Always 2 They Are, Taco Bell card, to go with the other Taco Bell card, Lord Sidious, which was the online play week. He goes Unitad to get Rey back, which I'm just like cursing, because, like I said, I feel like things just don't go away in old allies. Stuff just keeps coming back. He has a vehicle, which I don't like seeing, because my lightsabers don't do anything against vehicles. He gets Rey. He gets to pull something fun. We know he has Finn in his hand. He's got Flight Suit, which, like, there's Chewie, who's outside. So I got all sorts of fun just actions here, so I can exclude Solo, which he may or may not have forgotten about. Probably not a huge deal. And then I could pull Force Lightning, which I could conceivably get rid of Chewie, but then that would just be getting rid of power. He draws and hits Newt Gunray, makes him forfeit 0, which is kind of a bummer, because I'm down 7 power. Alright, so I go to hit Chewie. I don't want to risk either of my Dark Jedi going lost, although I could just like lose Sidious, no escape the saber, if I really wanted to preserve the saber. Alright, so Chewie's hit. That was an interesting point. So what if I just Force Lightning Chewie? I mean, I guess hindsight, I would have drawn a 4. He would have gone away, which would have lost 6 power. And then I'm going to draw 2 Destiny, so I guess the hope would be... Oh, but he could have just played Rebel Flight Suit and canceled Force Lightning. So yeah, and he probably would have done that. Might as well. So now I use my Plagueis Retrieval to get back Shizor. This is on his turn. He draws a 3, and that's it. Becomes a 4, and I draw a 2, which becomes a 0, which sucks, and a 4, which he can't do anything about that. So I'm down 7, so I think I lose Sidious here because I have another one in my hand. I want to peel 7. Yeah, I might as well just lose the game then. Yeah, alright, so I lose Sidious, put the saber on top. He's going to run away. Oh no, he just puts Solo inside, so he's safe from Force Lightning, safe from the saber. That's a good play, obviously. He's not going to leave anyone exposed. So my Destiny isn't great when I go to verify. I guess, could I have... I put Shizor back, which might not have been smart, right? Because who's piloting this? I guess Rey probably is, so he gets to the 6. Yeah, because if he had Solo piloting, he would only have 5. The passenger wouldn't have counted towards the Shizor text. Alright, so I think this is where I'm kind of just like, I'm just facing an uphill battle here. My hand's pretty light. He's going to be draining me for 2. He has no fear sitting in front of my Dooku. It's going to be tough for me to get any tricks through because he has the flight suit V. And I'm just going to try to set up here on 2. Hope that he doesn't have anything too good to come out my invisible hand with. Now I have Grievous, Barrier, which very happy that I found a barrier to potentially protect invisible hand. But he's got free drains of 2 and 1 here. He's up a couple in terms of hand and life. He's got a 5 and a 3, which is pretty good. Poe, and now he can really kind of chase me around in space. Get a bunch of Destiny. I do have a command. He's got Jin, which sucks. Now I gotta find a Force Lightning or a Sniper. He blocks a drain, blocks my drain, and now I'm not doing any damage. And by the time I kind of find outs to either be able to fight with the Blue 11, or be able to get rid of Jin, or actually put up a fight in space, he's gonna keep pumping through damage of like 2, 2, 1, something like that. And it's just going to favor him. So, Grievous. Keep Dooku. Do I run away with Dooku? Probably. Yeah. So, I think I'll speed this up. But yeah, I mean, takeaways here is I thought I had a pretty good start. He recurred some people. I don't really know how much more I could have done. I mean, I feel like the approach might have been a totally different line of just being much more patient and trying to proactively battle into him, but I don't think that works. There's just so many tricks in OA, between Flight Suit V and Handle and Rebel Barriers, and that Journey 2 with the jockey system is real nice, because you put some pressure on, you mitigate other damage, obviously, with the 7 side. Yeah, I'm honestly not very sure what else I could have done. Because, yeah, and then Jin's a game changer, too, because then even if I actually win a certain location, he could just hide on it. I do have the Force Lightning, which I guess that's what I do here. But I'm burning card. Yeah, he's up a few right now. I think I'd look to try to get an idea here. I guess I don't risk the Force Lightning on Jin. He comes down with Finn, Barrier, added Destiny, but I don't think I'm just going to have enough to get through here. Tracking us to get down to a 9, or to a 7, which is killer, because now I don't get rid of both of his characters. And that was big. If I could have got through and got rid of both, maybe that helps a little bit, swing the game, but now it's pretty much his game to lose. He's just got Drain at 2, he gets somebody back with Jedi Lev. Again, people just keep coming back. He has no problem stacking the Rebel leadership to add a Destiny. I play always 2 there are, which is, I guess, kind of helpful that I then just only have to lose Grievous and no more overflow. Force Lightning Jin. I guess I tracked that around. Made sure she went lost. Get a drain of 3 in. He could not have pulled Ultimatum, or he could have, but it wouldn't have helped because he's on 3. So I'm pretty proud of myself to get a drain of 3 through, but I'm down a couple, and he's about to deal 3 more damage. I just can't really mess with his space. I think that's what I try to do on my turn, but he's got like an Admiral up here. He's got 2 Destiny with Poe. If he battles me over here, Statura's going to add a Destiny. Andor comes out. How did Andor come back? I thought he was lost a while ago. We have to get another game. And yeah, so he covers up my drain, all my drains here. And I got him down to, 11 life force and 6 in hand? But I'm just between a rock and a hard place here, and I can't do anything else. So yeah, so I mentioned a few of the takeaways, but, I mean, OA is a very strong deck. Kessling's an extremely strong player, especially with old allies. But I guess my main takeaway here is, like, I don't know. I don't know if I could have won this game. Maybe someone will tell me, oh, if you just did this, or this. But I kind of feel like I should have taken a totally different line. Maybe that would help. I do have, like, Tae Hao in here, who would work with the blockade support ship. And if I could do that, just keep running in space, that would mean I could reduce his drains in space, which I think would be pretty big, but it would also get kind of costly, just paying 2 every turn, running away, kind of maintaining the ground here. That might have been one thing that would have been very helpful. I could have connected that early on. I think that would have been helpful. All right, so I'm going for about an hour 16 here. Those were 5 games. Hopefully people enjoy these. The last time I did one of these, there was a lot of views, so thanks to everyone who reviewed that. Hopefully they're helpful and entertaining and of some value. So enjoy this. Thanks for watching. Make sure you follow the PC on Twitter, lovely Twitter at SWCCG. And make sure you follow and subscribe to the PC Twitch. SWCCG PC is the Twitch handle. I'll upload this to the YouTube channel, which is probably where most of you are going to watch it. So thank you for following the PC on YouTube. All right, everyone take care. May the Force be with you.